Oh, hell yeah! Robbery and assault!
Oh, it's a letter. I wonder what this could be. You've been banned from NCTD property due to excessive fluid secretion. What could they possibly mean by that?
Listen, I know this looks weird, but trust me.
Alright. Well, damn. What do I do now?
Of course!
What do you do when you can't or don't want to go rail fanning? Well, you use one of these neat little things called a computer and boot up one of many train simulators.
Train simulators, because getting an actual job as an engineer takes a lot of work and time, and
honestly, does it look like I have time for that? So, to help myself and many others avoid arrest for fluid secretion...
On second thought, maybe not that last part, because I did code 6903 into TS.
Let's look into as many train simulators as our little rail fanning brains can handle, starting with...
Train Simulator Classic is definitely one of the most well-known train simulator games. It was originally released as Railworks way back in 2009 and was made by Dovetail Games. After this, it went through various names revolving around the Railworks name until it fell onto the name Train Simulator 2012, which released in 2011.
Hell yeah, it's September, time to start putting up those New Year's decorations.
One of the weird quirks with all train simulators that Dovetail made is that they kept on changing the name by a number or a year, and when they up the year, it wouldn't release in, say, January or February of its named year, rather in fall of the year prior. And with this info, we can once and for all prove that the people who make video games don't understand how calendars work. The actual game of Train Simulator is basically a huge hodgepodge of various different developer maps and trains coming all together to form a game. Train Simulator does not come with all of its content installed at once. Rather, it all comes into the form of various DLCs.
Good news to all you engineers out there. You don't need any form of training to drive on the NEC, you just need a crisp $45 on the ready.
When you buy the basic version of Train Simulator, your game comes with 3 routes with locos and coaches, and they're always the ones featured in that year's art. These usually consist of a US route, a European route, and a third one that's usually just another US or European route. The routes in Train Simulator, as mentioned, can range from hot garbage to absolute perfection. This is almost always due to the developer. Dovetail does not make all of the routes in the game, rather, they have other devs come in and make a route, most likely to make sure that the game can get consistent routes for the sales they have going on 70% of the time. This also applies to the various bits of locos and rolling stock you can buy separately or that routes come with. But what do you do when you've got a route or a loco that sucks and needs some redoing, or one that straight up doesn't exist?
I haven't slept in weeks.
That's where the community comes in. The TSC modding community is massive, with full-on websites existing of just mods and routes for Train Simulator. Route making is by far the easiest to get started with, and there is an actual built-in route maker in TSC, which is available right from the get-go. This also comes with a scenario maker where you can make your own custom driving situations in existing routes. On Steam, both of these can be uploaded to the Steam Workshop, a place where you don't have to worry about downloading 15 different viruses just to get a logo on a coach. However, when it comes to modifying existing models or making your own models, that's where it goes from,
Alright, it's 7. I'm pretty much done for the day.
to...
Blender. Please. I beg of you. Don't die on me now. I'm so close. I'm so close to finishing the body. Please. Ah.
Making repaints and custom models in Train Simulator is an absolute pain in the butt. You have to download 2 applications off sites that at a first glance look like the link would send you to a site that if I showed, the Federal Booty Institution would be knocking on my door in seconds.
Oh, crap!
The reason for needing these sites is because Train Simulator uses specific types of files that take models and textures and encodes them in a way that prevents models from just being copied and pasted into Blender and then exported as your own. The TGPCDX files are the texture files. You can easily get these with the simple RSBin tool export. But the real problem, children, are the GOPCDX files. These files are files that you cannot get at all at this moment in time, probably because pirating these files in any way can easily get you into legal trouble with Dovetail. But once you bypass this and lose many precious hours of sleep, you can actually get some pretty good models and paint schemes on your hand. These are a few models made by the community and some by yours truly.
I could go way more in depth about Train Simulator, as it is by far the Train Simulator I have the most experience with. However, we've got to move on to Train Simulator's younger and in some ways superior sibling.
Train Sim World is Train Simulator with RTX on. In Train Simulator, you just jump in a train and don't really ever get to operate it. But in Train Sim World, you get to go through every nook and cranny of an F-125, and unlike real life, the police aren't trying to arrest you for trespassing. Dovetail really cranked up the realism to the max with Train Sim World, allowing you to do a bunch of stuff with the trains you drive. They also have a good few routes that aren't in TSC, such as the Antelope Valley Line, the San Bernardino Line, some routes in the NEC, and not Surfliner by any means.
The issue with the main Train Simulator games is that in order to use certain logos or services, they need a license from all of the operators of said service. Now the problem with this is, certain operators can be very picky about this.
If you SoCal peeps are wondering on why we don't have Amtrak Surfliner yet in Train Sim World, even though Dovetail has an Amtrak license and literally made the Surfliner route with Surfliner in Train Simulator, it's because since that original Surfliner route was made, Caltrans has gotten more of a handle on the Surfliner service. And Caltrans, yeah, remember them? You know all that money you're sending over to get those goofy hydrogen and battery locos bought? Maybe you should realize that that won't work and realize that Sorrento to Miramar is a real thing. It's slow, can be straightened, you just need to put money into it. My God! And I don't know the details of this exactly, but the gist of it is Caltrans is being a bitch and doesn't want to give Dovetail the license. Now that's the Caltrans I know.
A lot of state DOTs do this. I'd imagine the reason why we haven't gone Cascades or Midwest in any Dovetail game yet is because state DOTs don't want to give out licenses.
Why this is, I don't really know. They either don't want to or are being extremely difficult with getting it cleared. I also find it funny that this game is called Train Sim World, like you've got a world of trains to explore. Huh, the world's been looking real different these days. Train Sim World is rather new, so there isn't much more major stuff to go over here past the fact that it's Train Sim World, and if you like realism and random lag spikes, it's for certain the Train Sim for you. Before we move on to the next set of Train Sims, I'd like to mention Train Z. I used to play the Mac version of a really old version of Train Z because I didn't have a Windows computer, meaning I couldn't play Train Simulator. Ever since I got TSC and TSW, I haven't touched Train Z at all in any version, so I can't really speak on this game, but I will say the new versions do look absolutely gorgeous, granted a bit pricey.
All of these other sims are great, but they're pretty hard to buy if you're on a strict budget.
And that's where the various train sims on Roblox come in. On Roblox, pretty much anyone can watch a few tutorials and make their own train game, with a good few being able to counter the major players outside of Roblox. Games such as RSU, Rails Unlimited, Terminal Railways, among many others, I would genuinely play outside of Roblox. However, that isn't to say all train sims on Roblox are perfect, because most of them just consist of Yeah, a lot of these sims consist of a lot of unfinished stuff, weird models, or rotoms with car headlights. These are about 10 times as common as the real sims with hard work put in, so if you're new to Roblox train sims, finding a good one on a whim may be a bit hard, so allow me to show you 3 good ones real quick. RSU, standing for Rail Sim Universe, is by far the most polished and most popular Roblox train sim. At the moment it consists of only Tri-Rail, but apparently some other stuff is coming pretty soon. In this Tri-Rail game, there is a wide variety of engines, coaches, and rail fans awaiting for InsaneHornshow.mp3. If you watch my streams, you'll notice that I tend to play this game a good amount, as it is by far the least finicky, most accurate, and most fun of all the Roblox train sims. SoCal Train Simulator, formerly known as Surfliner Project until Amtrak got mad and smacked it, is a row-scale train simulator game based on the Lost Sand Corridor stretching from San Diego to San Luis Obispo, with it at the moment being only at San Juan. This game gets a bit of crap for being inaccurate, but a lot of those things are in order of being fixed soon enough, and while it's no RSU, it's still rather fun to screw around in for an afternoon. If anything can be considered a true classic Roblox train sim, it is for certain Terminal Railways. This game has been around for almost a decade at this point, and it is probably the highest variety of trains in any Roblox train sim. Its map isn't based on anything in particular, but it works rather well. All in all, Terminal Railways is good as hell, and you can really tell that the original creators of it had a true passion to just simply make a train sim for Roblox. But despite this, it has kind of fallen off in recent years. A sad sight for me, as I have some pretty good memories with this game, even to the point where some of my first YouTube videos were on Terminal Railways. But we don't have to go back to that.
The train is already in enough pain. The cars are doing barrel rolls. Stop it.
And with that, I think I finally have enough knowledge on how to please my train fix while I'm banned from NCTD property. Speaking of which, I should probably figure out how long that ban's gonna last. Screw it.
Of course, no one ever goes to Poinsettia. I can't possibly be caught if no one ever goes to Poinsettia.